Good afternoon, sir.
Rafa. So for 9 students have joined. We'll wait for 1 minute more. You mention your roll number in the chat box. Those who have joined.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon to all. Those who are joining, mention your roll number in the chat box. So let us start. 11 or 12, like that. 11 people are joined. In the last class, we are discussing about main properties, some ideal properties of a working fluid in any power plant, and we have also discussed the binary vapor power cycle, and we have discussed one problem from basic Rankine cycle. Today we will discuss two more problems, one from say from reheat, another from say from regeneration. Okay, and your let me first discuss few problems, then I will discuss some theory also. Let me share the screen. Is it visible? The PDF is
Yes,
visible?
yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. You see there's 12.4 problem. Okay. Uh, only this problem will be given. This TS and HS plot will be obviously not given in your problem. These two things you have to draw basically. So what is written? A steam power station uses the following cycle. That means steam at boiler outlet. These are the conditions given. Okay. Steam at boiler outlet. Boiler outlet is 150 bar, 550 degrees Celsius. That means which point it is, which point of the condition of which point it is given. Steam at boiler outlet means, hello, say
So
according to this
one,
figure. Yes,
one.
one point, right? All of you should, if there is any doubt at this point, please tell me, because this on which point you have to understand that from the problem, right? The naming may be different as per your convenience, but this, if this is a standard your nomenclature, 6s to 1, say this is the heat addition process in the boiler, okay, and this one point is nothing but the steam at boiler outlet. This one point is at the boiler outlet point, also the turbine inlet, inlet point, right? Now here, as we are having, you say reheat at 40 bar to 550 degrees Celsius. What does it mean? Reheat at 40 bar means, first there will be two types of turbines over here. One single reheat, it is mentioned, right? In the problem it is mentioned one single reheat at 40 bar. So initially it was
Excuse me,
150
sir.
bar. Yes,
Hello.
yes.
Sir, your sound is coming too low, sir.
Okay, now it is fine.
Yes, sir. Yes. Completely
Okay,
fine.
okay. Thank you. So this is my 40 bar, right? 40 bar is the reheat. Now one single reheat is applied over here. So you see this 2s point, okay? So two turbines will be there. One is your high pressure turbine, another is your low pressure turbine, as per the definition of the reheat. If we use, if it is given in the problem, it may be given two reheat. Two reheat means how many turbines? Two reheat mean how many turbines?
Sir, three turbines.
Three
Three,
turbines.
three turbines, right? High pressure turbine, intermediate pressure turbine, and low pressure turbine. So if there is some two reheat mentioned, obviously two pressures will be given, okay? And this temperature, what is the significance of this temperature, 550 degrees Celsius? That means after reheat, that means this 2s to 3 part, you can see this is the reheat, right? 2s to 3. Now from 2s it will again reheated, the steam will be again reheated. Let me clear you these points first. One point is the your exit from the boiler or the boiler outlet, or inlet to the which pressure turbine, high pressure or low pressure?
High pressure, sir.
High pressure turbine, very good. So 1 to 2s is the expansion process in the high pressure turbine. Very simple. It will not go beyond the it will not go inside the vapor dome. It will deal with only saturated, okay, saturated vapor. Now this 2s, from this 2s the steam is again extracted, the whole steam is extracted from the high pressure turbine, and it is fed to the reheater, okay, which is connected to the furnace. So this 2s to 3 is the reheating process, right? Now the question is, this 2s to 3, this 3 point, how you can fix this 3 point, right? This temperature, you see, this 550 degrees Celsius, it is given. It will not go somewhere over here above or somewhere here below. Okay, so this temperature will be given, okay, and this is happening at how, at which pressure? 40 bar. That means this high pressure turbine dropping the pressure from 150 bar. This is the 150 bar line. This line is the 150. This is a constant pressure line, TS plot. So this is my 150 bar. You can see here it is written. So high pressure turbine is dropping the pressure from 150 bar to 40 bar. Okay, it is 40 bar or 4 bar. I don't know how which value they have taken in the problem, but whatever the value will be given in the problem, that will be taken. Okay, so this, now see this this low pressure turbine will operate at which pressure? Say it is given 4 bar. Let us take 4 bar. Okay, let us take 4 bar. So this low pressure turbine will deal with the pressure 4 bar. Okay, now that means inlet. This 3 point is what? 3 point is the inlet to the low pressure turbine. This 2s to 3 process is the heat addition process, external heat addition process, at where it is at reheater. Now 3 to 4s part, we know that is nothing but the, again, the expansion process in the low pressure turbine, and 4s is the, this 4s point is nothing but the exit from the low pressure turbine, and 4s to 5 is again the condenser process, 5 to 6s is the pump work. So condenser pressure is given, condenser at 0.1 bar. Okay, using Mollier chart and assuming ideal processes, find the quality at turbine exhaust. That means quality at the turbine exhaust means which value I have to find out? X value at which point? This 4s point, right? At this 4s point. Cycle efficiency I have to find out, steam rate I have to find out. Okay, so how will you proceed? first for any this type of problem, you may draw this HS diagram also, okay, or single TS diagram will be enough for solving. So first task is here it is mentioned by using Mollier chart. Okay, you have to use Mollier chart to get get the enthalpy values very easily. So first the pressure and temperature is given. This 1 point I can get the value or not. The value of H at point 1. Last class I have shown you. I will not repeat that. Last class I have shown you how to find out
Yes,
the
sir.
values from Mollier diagram. Someone is joining now. Okay. So in this way, you see which values you can find out directly from your Mollier chart. Can you tell me which values? First, your H1. H1 easily I can get because H1 that
Yes,
means
sir.
this point I can locate in the Mollier diagram. So that if I can locate the point, I can get the say this is the HS diagram. This is nothing but the Mollier chart. Say so this point 1 I can locate in the Mollier chart and I can get the value of H and corresponding S, the entropy also. Okay. So next, which point I can get? You see, this 40 bar is the reheat pressure. Say it is 40 bar if it is. So 40 bar is given. So what I will do to locate this point? Can you tell me? To locate this 2s point, what should I do now? After getting point 1?
So we can equate the entropy values.
We can?
Equate the entropy values because it is an
No,
isentropic
from the
process.
Mollier chart say. I don't need to do any calculation.
Okay.
I need to locate this 2s point in the Mollier chart. How? Very simple. Last class I told you regarding this. If we know the pressure 40 bar, so this 40 bar line will be present in the
Match.
Mollier diagram
We'll
or
go
not?
down and match with the 40 bar line in
Yes,
given in the
yes,
graph.
yes, yes, very good. Because this 40 bar will be present in the Mollier diagram or not? This 40 bar will be present in the Mollier diagram. So what I will do, after locating this point on, just I will take my scale and from this point on I will drop down. Simple vertical line. Where it will cut this point for this line 40 bar, that point is nothing but this 2s point or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is there any doubt at this point? Because this will save your time while you solve your problem at your exam hall. This will save your time if you are having the Mollier chart. So this 2s point once I am getting, that intersection point, just locate that point and corresponding H value will get and S value will be obviously same because it's a ideal process. Now I will take this 40 bar line. That 40 bar line is present in the Mollier diagram. How much I will go? If it is Mollier diagram, just taking that line, I will go up to this constant temperature line, 550 degrees Celsius. There is a constant temperature line also in the Mollier diagram, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So I will take that line, I will go up to this 550 degrees Celsius line and I will get the intersection point over there. I will locate this point 3. Isn't it? It is very
Yes,
easy.
sir.
You don't need to do any calculation. From this point 3, I will drop down. Again, I will use my scale. Up to which I will drop down, 0.1 bar is given. 0.1 bar is nothing but the condenser pressure. There will be one pressure line in the Mollier diagram having the pressure 0.1 bar. Constant pressure lines you have to follow then. Okay, so you have to find out which line is corresponding to 0.1 bar. Select that line first and you are dropping down this vertical line. Take the intersection point. You will get this point 4s or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? It's very easy. So once you are getting this point 4s, now you have to see which dryness fraction line it is intersecting. Which dryness fraction line, because constant dryness fraction lines are also there. Constant dryness fraction lines are also there in the Mollier diagram. Now, if it is directly matching, that means directly intersecting with this, say this is one constant dryness fraction line. Say it is my 0.8. Say it is my 0.8 dryness fraction. That means the quality. If it is directly intersecting this point, then fine. It may not happen. That means it is lying in between 0.8 and 0.9. Then you have to see. That means some graduations will be also there. So it is 0.85 or 0.86 that you have to find out. Approximate. That means in place of 0.86, it may be 0.87. That will be not wrong. But you have to find out. Okay, that value. Directly you can just find out from there. So without doing any calculation, I can get this quality of the turbine exhaust or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Without doing any
Yes, sir.
calculation, I can just, if I know how to locate the points in the Mollier diagram, Even I don't need to see the steam table, but you can solve the same problem using the steam table also. So let us see how they have, because some values they have, no, as it is mentioned in the problem using Mollier diagram, it may not be mentioned in the problem that using Mollier diagram, this term using Mollier chart, it may not be mentioned. Then you can go for, that is up to you. You can go for the steam table or Mollier diagram. But if you uh, know that how to find out the values in the Mollier diagram and how to solve, I can assure you that you will not open the steam table until and unless you are requiring that, isn't it? So you see this H1, H2S, all these values they are getting from the Mollier diagram directly. Okay, kilojoules per kg, this is the unit. Okay, and X4S they are getting 0.88. That means it is in between 0.8 and 0.9, and it is close to 0.9. Okay, so they have written this. Now this H5, obviously this H5 I will not get. H5 I will obviously not get from the Mollier diagram. For that I have to just open up the steam table. How will you find out? This pressure is given. At 0.1 bar, the value of which? This 191.83. This value is written over here. You can see H5. How can I find out this value? I am explaining taking each and
Sir,
every value.
HF.
Okay.
Sir, HF.
HF. Yes, HF is the saturated
At,
liquid.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Hg is for the, this is the saturated liquid line. This side is the saturated vapor line. If I need the Hg, then this point. But I don't need that. So HF at this pressure 0.1 bar. If you see the steam table, you will get this value 191.83 kilojoules per kg. Okay. So once I'm getting these values, you can see I have to, because you see in the problem nowhere it is mentioned that neglect the pump work. So you have to calculate the pump work. They have calculated the pump work VDP, right? DP means, now see here one, if you see your book that this unit, this is nothing but this V again you have to find out from this 0.1 bar. At 0.1 bar, what is the value of VF? That is nothing but, I think they have written 10 to the power minus 3, approximately that value. Okay, so you take the value from the steam table. What is V? This V is nothing but the specific volume at which pressure? This condenser pressure, this one, and this is nothing but the Vf again, because it is lying on the saturated liquid line. And delta P means which pressure difference? Can you tell me?
Sir, 150 bar and 0.1 bar in
Yes,
between
they
them.
have not taken 0.1 bar because 0.1 bar is much less. That means negligible
Yes,
compared to 150 bar. But you have to take if it is not mentioned, because these small things may matter in the gate, right?
yes, sir.
So if something is there, if some cases like this your appears in a competitive exam I'm talking about, in exam you can neglect, that will not matter much. But if any case of any competitive exam, but it will matter. Okay, so it will obviously at after 2 decimal it will be the change, but you have to take it. So there they have not taken just 150 bar, they have converted to kPa by multiplying 10 to the power 2, so that I am getting in terms of kilojoules. So this is the pump work. You see 15, it is very less, but still I have to take it. I cannot neglect this pump work. Now H6S, H6X, how can I get it? H6S.
Sir, H5 plus pump work.
Very good, very good. That means H5 plus pump work. That will give me the H6S or not? Is it clear to all of you? Because
Yes, sir.
H6S
Yes, sir.
minus of H5 is nothing but my pump work. So if I am getting the pump work, I can calculate this H6X. Otherwise, it is very difficult to calculate the H6S. So as I am getting all the values, now I know the equations for the reheat cycle. What is that? Q1 is equals to, don't forget to add the reheater part. This is the reheater part, right? H3 minus of H3 minus of H2. This is the reheater part. And normal your boiler part, H1 minus of H6s. So both the things I have to add it over here. And I am getting, this is the final your Q1, this one. So similarly WT, I have to add the work done by the high pressure turbine and the low pressure turbine both. So H1 minus H2S plus H3 minus of H4S. Very simple, all the values you are getting. All the values you are ready with. So you can just put the values. So this is the value for WT, and W net is nothing but WT minus WP, and you can calculate the ETA cycle, the thermal efficiency. You see 43.9%. Okay. Now, if you are getting in some problem 70% or 80%, you may think that that I am correct by calculation, but you have made some mistake, because this efficiency will range always in between 30 to 50%, not 50 even, 30 to 45%. Okay, so this is a common question asked in interview also. What is the common efficiency of Rankine cycle? Basically it is 35 to 40%. In some cases we may get theoretically more, up to 45%, but nowhere I will get 70% or 80%. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So now coming to the regenerative one problem, let us see. Okay, this is the problem for regen. Now here I see, here let me point out, if you see some exercise problem of pick and arc, your power plant or Rajput, whatever book you follow, in reheat problem, most of the cases the problem in some reverse sense in the sense that this temperature will be given, the reheat pressure you have to find out. Here you see the reheat pressure is given, this is the reheat pressure 40 bar. Okay, so this reheat pressure you have to find out. Okay, if how can I find out? Then obviously the the data provided in the problem will be a bit different. That means first you have to locate this forest point. Okay, first you have to locate this forest point. Okay, and this temperature, say this is my 550 degrees Celsius. How will you proceed? Just I am guiding you that first this some dryness fraction value will be given. If you know the condenser pressure, you can locate this forest point in your Mollier chart. Now you have to draw this vertical line and you can get this 0.3, that means from backward, right? You can get this 0.3. Now you have to check that this 0.3 is intersecting which pressure line. Here it is given, here we have went starting from 1, then 2, then 3, then 4s. Okay, so but in some problem, in most of the problem I have seen that reheat pressure you have to find out. Okay, that is temperature, say it is given, so you have to go from the just reverse side. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
so that nothing but the same process, just depending on your data, you have to go and you have to locate this point in the Mollier diagram. Now this is very easy to find out from the Mollier diagram. If you go for the whole problem, if you go for the steam table, it will take much time. Okay, so that was the case. And taking one example from regenerative cycle, I'll show you one problem from your binary vapor cycle also. I don't know this type of problem you have solved in detail in your third semester or not. Have you solved this type of problems? Hmm?
No, sir.
You may have solved, you may forget at this point of time, but regenerative is not in that much of details, but concept of regeneration. But is there any doubt regarding the concept of regeneration? Before starting the problem, I should ask you. If there is any doubt, tell me. Because concept of reheat is very easy. Regeneration is concept is a bit different compared to the reheat. It's clear to you, right? So
Yes, sir. It's clear.
okay. I think all of you have mentioned the roll number in the chat box.
No, no, sir. Mention. Just
Mention it. Okay. Uh, okay. So let us see this problem. In a single reheater regenerative cycle, in your semester exams, it may be going up to 2. Okay, up to 2 reheat, not beyond that. 2 reheat or 2 regenerative. So whenever I have explained the theory, I have taken two heaters, if you remember. So it will be going not beyond that. A single reheater regenerative cycle in the steam enters the turbine at 30 bar 400 degrees Celsius and exhaust pressure is 0.1 bar. Okay, that means here the turbine is single turbine. Don't mix up with reheat and regeneration. Here the turbine is single turbine, but at different positions we will take out the steam, isn't it? That is the concept of regeneration. Okay, so here which condition is given? Can you tell me here? This 30 bar means which 30 bar? This is the enters. That means
Boiler pressure.
yes, it is nothing but the boiler pressure. 30 bar is the boiler pressure, boiler exit pressure or turbine inlet pressure, whatever you can say. And 400 degrees Celsius is the temperature, you can see. Okay, in this way, if you draw the block diagram in your exam, so that your problem will be very clear to you itself. But if you don't draw this, you may be confused from the problem. And the exhaust pressures means which pressure? It is nothing but the condenser pressure, 0.1 bar. Okay, Here also you can see the 0.1 bar. The feed water heater is a direct contact type which operates at 5 bar. Okay, that means uh, from 30 bar to 5 bar I am getting just I am allowing the steam to be expanded from 30 bar to 5 bar inside the turbine first. Whenever the pressure is at 5 bar, I am taking some amount of steam, mkg say I'm taking some amount of steam, and I'm considering the same concept 1 kg it is running. Okay, so that I can find out the value of m, because everything will be per kg, right? The specific, everything value is in specific, so it is better to take in 1 kg. Why I am taking 1 kg? Because each and every properties I am writing in specific manner, specific enthalpy, specific entropy, that's why. So the feed water heater is the direct contact type which operates at 5 bar. Find the efficiency and the steam rate of the cycle. B, second part, the increase in mean temperature of heat addition, efficiency and steam rate as compared to the Rankine cycle. That means we have to compare this cycle if it is not using the regeneration. So without regeneration, what is the mean temperature of heat addition, and with regeneration, what is the mean temperature of heat addition? Obviously, which should be larger? Which mean temperature of heat addition should be larger?
So regeneration.
Regeneration.
With
Whenever we are applying regeneration, that one should be larger. So let us see. So whenever it is given this 30 bar and 400 degrees Celsius, I can calculate this. I can get this value from the Mollier diagram directly, H1. So this condition to this finding out this point is very easy. Okay, this value H1 from the Mollier diagram, take the line of 30 bar pressure and take the temperature for 400 degrees Celsius, take the intersection point and you will get the value. Okay, so TS diagram, obviously TS diagram you have to draw. This is the TS diagram, if you can remember. At this 5 bar I am taking the steam. Okay, I'm taking the steam, and this part obviously the 2 pumps will be required, because your heater I am using, feed water heater. One pump will be connected to this condenser, another pump will be connected to this heater, and ultimately I will getting the same amount of water again. So here if I am taking m amount of mass, how much amount will be left that will run in the condenser and this pump? 1 minus mkg, right? Because I am using one single your heater. So here you have to find out the value of m, obviously. Now once you are getting the value of h, this point in the Mollier diagram, so here hs diagram is also drawn. Let us see this one so that it will be very easier to understand. This one point I can easily find out from the Mollier diagram or not? 400 degrees Celsius, 30 bar, I can easily find out.
Yes,
Isn't
sir.
it? Okay, so from this point, if I just take a line like this, I will get the value of h over here in the y-axis, and if I just drop down a line like this, I will get the value of s entropy over here. So that's so that entropy is written over here, nothing but s1 is this much is equals to s2 is equals to s3, because it is a straight line. So s2 and s3 will have the same entropy. Now sg at 5 bar, sg at 5 bar, sg at 5 bar means this pressure, this one. Okay, this is the at which pressure I am taking out mkg of steam. So this 5 bar, this is the sg. Sg means which point? Can you tell me? Here it is written sg. Isn't it this point? I'm
Yes, sir.
just locating the point. Isn't it this point? All of you. Is there any doubt at this point?
No, sir. No, sir.
Because this is the 5 bar. Those who are having doubt, you feel free to ask. Okay, the class is for all. So this 5 bar is the pressure. Sg means is suffix g stands for the saturated vapor. Okay, that means on this line. So this at this point, what is the value of s? From the steam table I can get. Obviously this value I can get from the steam table. So what now you can just compare, you see s1 that or s2, say s2 value is 6.9, which is larger, isn't it? Which is larger than 6.9 is larger than 6.8. That means 2 point must be beyond this saturated vapor line or not?
Yes, sir.
So that means beyond saturated vapor line means it is in the superheated zone.
Superheated.
Right. So that is the that is your confirmation. You have to know also the, because if you place this because you will you can get it confirmed by Mollier diagram also. If you get this point, if you drop down this line, you can check the intersection with the 5 bar where the point it is. You can easily locate it from the steam table also. They are comparing from the steam table. That is that can be also done. Okay. Now to find out this H2 value, you see how they have found they have, that means they have got this value. The state 2 must be lying on superheated zone. Okay, fine. From the table of superheated steam, now they have went to the superheated steam. That means they are using steam table. They are using steam table, but you can apply Mollier diagram also. Now see, if I go for the, if I have to use the steam table, how I can, that means find out? Just I have to find out 5 bar. If you see, there are two types of superheated, that means two types of steam table. One is your saturated, another is your superheated. You have to go for now superheated. How can you find out? In the superheated steam table, there will be one temperature table, there will be one pressure table. Are you getting my point? If you have not seen the steam table,
Yes, sir.
then you will not understand, right? If you have seen, if you are having book, you can just open it up and see. In superheated steam table, you are having two types of table. What are the two types? One is your depending on the pressure. That means if I know the pressure, I have to find out the properties. But if I know the temperature also, then also I can find out the properties. Now see, at this 5 bar in the superheated zone, there will be some saturation temperature. But if I go for the temperature table, you will find the saturation pressure. That is the difference. So here, if I go for this 5 bar, pressure is known to me. You see this T2 temperature. What is this T2 temperature? Temperature at this point. That is the saturation temperature at the 5 bar. Okay. Saturation temperature at this 5 bar pressure in the superheated zone. And H2 value, they have also got this 2796. Now the problem is, if there are some pressure is there that is not there in the steam table, then you have to go for the interpolation. If you can remember, in the last problem, that was the problem. In the last class, I was discussing a problem where the pressure was not directly available in the steam table. So according to you, how you should calculate this H2 value? Which one is easier, using steam table or using Mollier diagram?
Mollier diagram.
Obviously it is Mollier diagram, because you will be having both in at the time of exam. You will be having both. Okay, so this H2 value directly you can get easily. That means you will just locate this point in the Mollier diagram and correspondingly you will take the value. But still I have discussed, because some of you may use, that means you are more familiar with the steam table, it may so happen, then you can go for the steam table. That is not a problem, but you have to go for the superheated. That means you have to see first, this point is, this 2 point is lying on which zone. Okay, in the inside the vapor dome or outside the vapor dome. Then you can go for the superheated steam table. So in this way, they have found out this value of H2 and S3 value. S3 value is known to us. Okay. Now they are finding out this X value. Okay. This X value. Okay. This X value, obviously you have to use this one, or you can go for the Mollier diagram. Two options will be with you always. Okay. But there is no problem to use this one also. Okay. One thing, you in a single problem, you may mix up the two things. That means some data you can take from the Mollier diagram, some data you can take from the steam table, doesn't matter. Okay. So here you see S3 is nothing but this point, S3 or S2 or S1, the same value. So it is nothing but SF plus X into SFG. That value, that equation is well known to us. SF plus X is the quality or dryness fraction at this point 3, that I have to find out. And because I have to find out H3, that is my goal basically. Okay. If I don't know this value of X, I cannot find out the value of H also at this point, if I have to use the steam table. So better you can find out the dryness fraction first. Okay, dryness fraction you can calculate. They are getting 0.836. I'll suggest that this calculation of dryness fraction, you can do it from the this equation, very simple equation. And this SF and SFG, you can get it from the steam table very easily, corresponding to this 0.1 bar. So that why I'm telling this, you can go for Mollier diagram directly also, but here you can get some accurate value. Okay, can you see this? Here you can get some accurate value. Okay, that is my point only. And then once you are getting this X value, then you can easily calculate in the same equation. H3 will be what? HF plus X into HFG. That same equation they have used. Okay, same equation they have used. So H3 they are calculating. Once I am getting this H3, H4 is very easy to calculate because H4 is what? H4 is nothing but HF at this 0.1 bar. So all these points, that means this 4, 5, 6, 7, all these points you have to find out the value of H. H4 and H6 is very easy to find out because H4 is nothing but the HF at which pressure? At 0.1 bar, and H6 is nothing but HF at 5 bar. Okay, and if you just calculate these two pump work, and you will get the value of H7 and H5 like the last problem. Okay, so I think that has been done. Okay, since the pump work is neglected, so the problem is getting very easy. So as the pump work is neglected, so H4 and H5 is they are equating, H6 and H7, but if it is not mentioned in the problem, it is neglected, then you have to calculate the pump work like the last problem. How? Just by using the equation V into dP. Okay. Now until and unless you are calculating the value of M, you cannot find out the mean temperature of heat addition or whatever the efficiency you are saying. So M, how will you find out? Because M is very easy. Just for finding out M, you go back to this figure. Just inlet and outlet, just equate the enthalpies. So M into H2, this is the H2, this is the 2. M into H2 should be so M into H2 plus 1 minus M into H5 is equals to 1 into H6, isn't it? Someone of you can clarify me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The equation whatever I told. Two inlets
Yes, sir.
I can see in the heater, M into H2. Another inlet to this heater is, just see the arrow, 1
Yes.
minus M into H5 should be equals to one single outlet. Here the mass is 1 kg. So 1 into H6. So I think that has been done. Let me see. So same thing they have done, but just by some different arrangement you can see. Okay. Same thing you will get. Okay. So that is nothing but the energy balance of the heater. So you will, once you are getting the value of M, you can now calculate the WT. What will be the WT? What will be the WT over here? What will be the WT? Just tell me the common equation. I'm not asking about the values. H1 minus H, it is 1, 2, 3. That is a single turbine. This is the turbine work, WT. But what is the equation? Because
H1
different mass are working. Yes.
H1 minus H2 plus 1 minus M into H2 minus H3.
Yes. H1 minus H2 multiplied by 1 basically plus 1 minus M into H2 minus of H3. So this concept should be clear. There is no part of memorizing. Is there any part of memorizing over here? I don't think so, because if you understand this figure, how the flow is happening, how the steam flow is happening, where it is extracting, where it is again mixing, if you know these things, then you just need not to remember anything. Okay. And this first task for any problem is draw this block diagram and draw this TS and HS plot. Then you see half of the problem will be done, and locate these points. Then you will be playing with the values, nothing else. Okay. So here you see, and I'm showing you, let me show you, these things are all I'm not wasting the time by showing these things, because you can just put the value. Q1 is H1 minus H6, that is a single value, so eta you can find out. Now this TM1, how can you find out the TM1? How can you find out the TM1? For this case, say, for this case, what should be the, how can you calculate TM1? That means the mean temperature of heat addition. Anyone? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Sir, I don't remember the formula, sir.
No, again you are trying to remember. You see, mean temperature of heat addition, I'm telling to all of you, try to understand, mean temperature of heat addition always depends on which heat addition, mean temperature of heat addition. From the name it should be clear. That means it is dealing with heat addition, right? So heat addition means external heat addition. Here in regeneration, there are some part by internal heat generation. That means internal heat addition. Sorry, internal heat addition. Which part is internal heat addition? Can you tell me? From which point to which point in this plot? Internal heat addition.
5 to 6, sir.
5 to 6, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
5 to 6 is the internal heat addition. That means I'm taking this heat from this hot steam and feeding this to water. But external heat addition is from 0.7 to 1 or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
From
sir.
0.7 to 1. So mean temperature of heat addition means what? It will just depend on this H7 to H1. So H1 minus H7 divided by S1 minus S7 will give me the temperature or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
H1 minus H7, basically the equation is H1 minus H7, whatever you are trying to remember, but you don't need to remember, I should say. Just see which point is the external heat addition. Which point is external heat addition? H1 to H, that means H7 to H1, right? So H1 minus H7 is the heat added to in the boiler or not? Heat added in the boiler, right?
Yes, sir.
So H1 minus H7 should be equals to what? T into ds. Which T? That T I need, mean temperature of heat addition. Okay, some virtual temperature which should be constant and adding the same amount of heat. That was the concept of mean temperature of heat addition. So Tm1 multiplied, that means H1 minus H7 is equals to Tm1 into S1 minus of S1 minus of S7. I'm repeating, H1 minus of H7, that is the heat added externally, should be equals to Tm. Tm means mean temperature of heat addition multiplied by entropy difference, ds means S1 minus of S7. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Absolutely clear. Yes.
Okay. So you see, if you see the equation, they have written, I think, directly. Yes, Tm1, you see, H1 minus H7 divided by S1 minus S7. Okay. By mistake, do not take this 5 to 6 part because this is not external heat addition. Okay. So here you see you are getting some value. How much? Obviously it will get in terms of Kelvin first, then you can convert to degree Celsius, 238.8 degrees Celsius. But if I am not having the regeneration, without regeneration, which point I have to take now? That means here the naming may your
Sir, H1 minus H5.
basically here you see 5 here it is the naming is 5. Yes, but there will be, that means no, this type of this part will be not there in simple Rankine cycle. So yes, H5 or H4, whatever you say.
Yes, sir.
So H1 minus H4, S1 minus S4. Okay, that will give you the Tm1. Now you see, let me check this which H they have taken, H1 minus H4. Let me check once. H1 minus H4. H1 is how much? H1 is your yes, H1 is 3230. Okay, 3230. 3230 minus of 3230 minus of this amount will be there, isn't it? 191.83. If you subtract, this value is coming or not? Can you please check, anyone? 3230 minus of 191.83. 3230.9. 3230.9 minus of 191.83. Are you getting this value?
Yes, sir.
Have you checked?
No, sir, I'm just calculating.
Okay, okay.
Sir, 3032.07.
3032. Then some approximations I think they have done in some cases. So it will come near about this value, isn't it? That means that H1 value you are having minus of H4 means which point in this plot, that should be clear to you. This point you have to take. Okay. H4 means here in this problem, as we have to neglect the pump work, H4 and H5 is same. Okay. But the confusion may arise if I have to take the pump work. If I have to take the pump work, I have to take the value of H5 or not? I have
Sir,
to take the value.
Yes, sir. Sir, when they are taking with regeneration, they are taking H1 minus H7, not H6. But when they are taking without regeneration, they are taking H1 minus H4,
Yeah,
not H1 minus H5.
As the pump work is neglected, H7 is equals to H6 and H5 is equals to H4. That is the reason.
Okay, okay.
Sir, how can H4 and H5 be same, sir?
Yes, it may be same. If it is written in the problem that pump work you may neglect, then only. You can see this problem. Here they have written since pump work is neglected. I think some information should be provided in the problem. Let me check in the problem. Otherwise, I have to calculate the pump work. It should not be same. Yes, you are correct. It should not be same because pump work is there. But yes, you see in the problem, it is
Yes, sir.
written
Written.
neglect pump work. So then you don't need to calculate the pump work, and these two values are getting same, H5 and H4. H4 you can easily calculate from the stream table. So that value is nothing but H5. Okay, it is getting simplified basically. If I have to neglect the pump work, it is getting simplified. Is this clear? This point.
Yes, sir.
So you have to read the problem that the pump work is neglected or not. Okay, that much only. So you see now you can now compare that TM1 with regeneration is how much? This value 238.8 degrees Celsius. Without regeneration the value is 211.4. So this is the increase in mean temperature of heat addition. So the theoretical part that we are discussing, that our target again and again, I think so many times I have told you that our target is to increase the mean temperature of heat addition, increase the mean temperature of heat addition. This is the mathematical checking, you can say, by the help of one problem you can only check. Okay, so this mean temperature of heat addition is increasing means my efficiency is also increasing. Okay, so here with regeneration, this is the efficiency, you can see 35.36, but if you take this mean temperature, okay, T1 minus T2 by Tm1. Okay, if you take this one, that means without regeneration the efficiency will be obviously less than this. Okay, so this problem is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
each and every step I have explained, because I could explain only the steps, but I know where you will stuck. You will stuck at these values. Okay, so that's why I again and again I am telling you that how to find out these H values, because when you have understood all the problem, but you will stuck, I have seen you will stuck at the problem whenever you are trying to find out all these values and calculating. You know everything conceptually, but you will stuck when you will solve the problem, because you have to know how to get all these values. Okay, for that you have to be familiar with the two things, stream table and Mollier diagram. Okay, so two problems I have discussed. So let me I'll discuss another problem, or one small thing I had to discuss, that this coupled cycle and this byproduct power, this part, this process heat and byproduct. Okay, I will discuss this process heat concept on the, this is basically the concept of cogeneration plant. It is called cogeneration plant. Okay, process heat and byproduct power. So this process heat I will discuss on the next class. Let me tell you this one, because this slide is related to the last class. Okay, in GATE also I have seen few problems. Please wait. Is it visible? The slide is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thermodynamics of coupled cycle. So coupled cycle, basically in the last class we have discussed the binary cycle, isn't it? So if you can remember that binary cycle, so the coupled cycle is nothing but that type of the same concept. You see the two vapor phase cycle is coupled in series over here. Okay, two vapor phase cycle means here it is not drawn the TS plots. Here you see it is the topping cycle and bottoming cycle, two different cycle, and this is nothing but the condenser and boiler combination. This part. Okay, that means the heat rejected by this topping cycle will be fed to the this bottoming cycle. Okay, so that was the concept in the binary vapor cycle also. The same thing here, only the mathematical part I will show in terms of efficiency. Here you see what is the efficiency of the first cycle. That means this 1 minus of Q2 by Q1, that I can write, because Q2 is the heat rejected and Q1 is the heat added. Eta 1 is equals to 1 minus Q2 by Q1. Okay, Q2 is equals to, so I can write Q1 into 1 minus eta 1. Eta 1 is the efficiency of this topping cycle. Similarly, I can write for eta 2. Eta 2 means the efficiency of this bottoming cycle. Eta 2 will be 1 minus Q3 by this Q2. Q2 is the heat added to this bottoming cycle. That was nothing but the same thing, that means heat rejected by the topping cycle. So this Q2 is the heat added for this bottoming cycle, and Q3 is the heat rejected for this bottoming cycle. Is this clear? These two equations?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And so from here we can simplify this Q3 is equals to Q2 into 1 minus eta 2. Now if I consider these two cycles as a single cycle, if we consider these two cycle as a single cycle, what is the heat added to the cycle? Q1. What is the heat rejected from the cycle? What is the heat rejected from this combined cycle?
Q3.
Q3, not Q2. Okay, Q2 has been internally used. So Q3 is the heat rejected from this coupled, you can say, the coupled cycle. So that efficiency is nothing but 1 minus Q3 by Q1, right? Q3 is the output and Q1 is the heat input. Okay, so here I will replace, if I replace, you see, the Q3 in place of Q3, if I replace Q2 into 1 minus eta 2, then I can write this in place of Q3, Q2 into 1 minus of eta 2. So here you see Q2 by Q1 means what? Q2 by Q1 means what? From this equation, Q2 by Q1 means 1 minus eta 1, right? So I can write 1 minus eta 1 into 1 minus eta 2 or not? I can write this.
Yes, sir.
So the simplified equation, that means you see here the two cycles are there, eta 1 and eta 2. What will be just that means two cycle efficiency, say it is given, eta 1 value is say 0.35, eta 2 value is given say 0.4. What will be the efficiency of the combined cycle? Okay, the equation is this one, eta is equals to 1 minus of 1 minus eta 1 into 1 minus of eta 2. Now this type of n number of cycles may be, if it is coupled in series, then what will be the efficiency of the combined cycle? It will just go like this, 1 minus of 1 minus eta 1 into 1 minus eta 2 into 1 minus eta 3 and dot dot, like 1 minus up to 1 minus eta n. So this is very common equation, that means very useful equation for solving any MCQs. That means just two efficiencies will be given and they are coupled in your series. So then you can calculate the overall efficiency of the combined cycle. Just remember this equation, 1 minus eta 1 into 1 minus eta 2. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so today I will finish the class 5 minutes earlier, because if I start this, it will not finish this process it. Now last 5 minutes will be there. If you are having any doubt, you can tell me. If you are having any doubt regarding
Sir,
last.
hello,
Yes,
sir.
yes,
Sir,
yes,
in practical power plants, sir,
yes,
the cycle that they use, is that a combination of reheat, regenerative, and
yes.
binary? Is it a combination
No,
of all?
binary. I do not say in the common power plants. If you take the power plants that from where we are getting the electricities, binary is not used in very rare case we can see the binary. But reheat, regeneration, both you can see.
Okay, sir.
Okay, reheat, regeneration, both you can see, because if you use only reheat, you will just never see any power plant where they are using only reheat, because that will not improve the efficiency much. But if you use the regeneration and reheat both, okay, you have known what is reheat, you have known the regeneration, what is regeneration. One problem is also there in your book, whatever book you may follow, doesn't matter, you will find, let me show you, reheat, regeneration both in the same problem. Okay, no, show you there, you can see much more improve in your efficiency compared to the single regeneration also. Okay, yes, here this problem you see, no, here no, here again it is my it is my again reheat, regeneration, it is not reheat, regeneration. Here you see this type of problem, it is a much bigger problem. So here you see reheater is also there, high pressure turbine, intermediate pressure turbine, and low pressure turbine. So here regeneration is also there, reheat is also there. Here the efficiency, you can get the maximum efficiency. Okay, In modern power plants, they use the reheat and regeneration both. Now, single regeneration or your two regeneration they may use. That depends on the situation. Yes, anyone is asking?
Sir, coupled cycle is cogeneration.
No. Cogeneration I have not discussed. Cogeneration, just forget about cogeneration. Cogeneration I'll discuss in the next class. That is related to process.
Okay, sir.
Topping cycle you can compare with the binary vapor cycle. Okay. Say for in the last class I have discussed the binary vapor cycle, say Mercalli cycle and your vapor cycle. Which was it in your topping cycle?
Sir, Mercury was there.
Mercalli was there. So Mercalli cycle is the topping cycle, and your water vapor, that means vapor cycle, steam cycle I should say, steam cycle is the bottoming cycle. So what is the overall efficiency? So if we know the efficiency of the Mercalli cycle separately, if we know the efficiency of the steam cycle separately, by using that equation 1 minus of 1 minus eta 1 into 1 minus eta 2, I can get the overall efficiency. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this type of problem, you try to see these problems. You can see here the TS plot. Here you can see the reheat is there. Okay. And also regeneration is also there from this TS plot. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in regeneration, when we use the steam from the high turbine, sir, from which point we have to extract the steam from high turbine? That point, how do we get to know?
That point basically, that means the majority of the expansion done. Okay, first. Okay, the majority, just in the last problem, if you see, it was your 30 bar to 4 bar, right?
Yes,
30 bar was the boiler pressure. That means that is very high pressure. Okay, and 30 bar pressure is dropped down in the turbine first to 4 bar. Okay, that from the 4 bar I should take that, because the reason is basically it is depends on the design. That means design in the sense design of the your efficiency. Uh, a particular power plant works just for a particular efficiency. Okay, for that there is a particular, each and every point there is a design point. That means design there is fixed point, and then with some tolerance, some pressure value is already fixed over there. Now if you are asking how we are fixing this, that depends on the how much electricity we are generating, and how much how much steam we are dealing with. So different factors are there. So I cannot say in a single line, but I can say this, that it depends on which factors. Okay, and majority of the expansion done first. It is not like that from 30 bar to 25 bar I will extract the steam. It is not like that. Majority of the expansion from the 30 bar, say up to 4-5 bar, it is expanded. That means most of the pressure has been dropped first. Okay, because if you are not dropping that, you are just that means what is the reason behind this? If you ask what is the reason behind this, the reason is my target is also to get the electricity. Electricity means that will come from what? That will come from the work that I am getting from the turbine. If I am not allowing the steam itself to expand in the turbine, how I am getting high work from the turbine?
yes, sir.
Isn't it?
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes, sir.
if I am taking out some amount of steam just after few pressure drop, then what will happen? It will affect the work output from the turbine. So in
Yes, sir.
turn that will that may reduce the efficiency, right? So there is
Sir,
some certain
yeah.
design value below that means above which I cannot take the steam from the turbine. Okay.
Sir, I'm thinking that it may be maybe I'm not correct, but sir,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
thinking that the latent heat from the steam which I get, because it sir it cools now, sir. The latent heat what we get, that latent heat will be used to sensibly heat the point, means internally heating we are doing, sir,
In
in low
regeneration we are
pressure
doing
pump.
internal heating. Yes.
Yes, that heat it should be used for the sensible heating from that part. That heat should be equal. On that basis, we can we can get the
Another
point.
problem is there. Another problem is there. Which problem you know? That problem is regarding pressure. Just if we do this thing, if I take out this steam at high pressure, and this
Yes, sir.
feed in this feed water heater, whatever, it just it mixes. So at
Yes, sir.
that particular pressure, try to understand. See this my cursor over here. At this particular pressure, this pump also have to work.
Yes,
This
sir.
pump also have to work. Now pump will deal with the incompressible fluid, right? So
Yes,
if
yes,
I take at high pressure, if I used to use some pump, then the
yes, sir.
pump work may also increase. So there are several factors. So that's
Yes,
why this
sir.
pressure is not much higher. You can see from 20 bar, from you can see what was the, you can see the 70 bar. my boiler pressure is 70 bar, and at which pressure I'm taking out the steam? 10 bar. So that means, because if I use high pressure over here, that means if I take out the steam, say at 50 bar, this pump will require high pump work. That means large size pump I may require to deal with that pressure, right? So this is another point. That is the reason why we are not taking at high pressure the steam.
Yes, sir.
Very good
Thank
question,
you, sir.
but it actually depends on the some practical issues also. But whatever I know, I have shared with you.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Okay. So it is already time. So thank you very much for attending. And like the previous classes, I will share this lecture also in your Google Classroom. Right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for attending. See you in the next class.